You also have to put in the work and be honest. I think that's a key thing too. Like you can't, if you lie to your therapist, they can't help you.
Ooh, that's a good one. And it's actually really common for people to lie to their therapist. Are they really lying to their therapist though, or are they lying to themselves? Hi, I'm Dr. Han Ren, licensed psychologist and mental health content creator. And today I'm going to be reacting to Jubilee's video, 6 Men in Therapy versus 1 Fake. Let's jump in.
I am in therapy.
I am in therapy.
I am in therapy.
I'm in therapy.
I'm in therapy.
I'm in therapy.
I am in therapy.
All right, let's talk about trauma.
I used to think that people wouldn't lie about being in therapy, but now it's becoming so popular and people are like, ooh, it's such a green flag when you're in therapy. In like dating profiles, like, ooh, that's a really great sign. But now it's like, are you being performative with it? It's hard to suss out people's intentions with it right now because of how popularized it's been.
What if we started like this? What if we all talk about maybe when we started therapy, how many therapists we've seen probably, and then can we end it with something that we're grateful for?
Sure, I love that.
My name's Franco. I've been in therapy for about 1.5 years. I'm grateful to just be a better communicator just because of it. Just able to talk properly, not just throwing my emotions out.
I've been in therapy since 2019, which would be sophomore year for me in high school. I've actually only had one, and I feel really, really lucky for that. But my dad is a therapist, and my mom is like a counselor, and so they were able to find me a therapist in sophomore year.
Like, of course you would be in therapy if your parents are in therapy. My kids are in therapy.
I was a little suspicious because his parents are therapists. As a natural young man, you're rebellious against your parents. That would already make me not like therapy at all.
I've been going to therapy for about 4 years now. I think the beautiful thing about therapy is you have the option to choose what's best suited for you. You shouldn't just give up on it. And right now I'm currently working with a therapist. We talk every Wednesday and it's been phenomenal. We've been with each other for almost a year now, and I love it.
I'm Cameron. I've been doing therapy for about 2 years. I went through 2. One was a school therapist, and so I found another therapist outside of school, and he's been fantastic, so I've been working with him for about 2 years.
I'm Marcus. I've been going to therapy now officially, I'd say a little over 9 months, so it's still new-ish.
It's an easy excuse for a mole to be like, I've only been in therapy for not that long.
How long a person's in therapy is such a subjective experience because for a lot of people, it's like 9 months, that's a really long time. But also, if you've been in therapy for a while and you're really doing that deeper level work, that 9 months maybe isn't that long. It takes quite a while to really dig into some of that shadow stuff.
I'm Veth, and I've been in therapy for 6 months now. I'm on my first therapist, and things have been going great. The thing that I was looking for was a gay man of color, just because they just understand the culture and kind of what we've all been through.
That's so legit, trying to find a therapist with similar lived experiences as you, with similar context and perspectives, I think is so important because, especially if you hold marginalized identities, not everyone's going to understand where you're coming from. And if you have different cultural background from your therapist, you don't want to have to be explaining to your therapist all the time, like, this is what's normal for me and my people. You want them to already meet you there or at least do the work in researching what they don't know so they can catch up to speed. I really don't think it should be the client's job to educate their therapist ever. I think you can say, okay, can you please do more research on this? And then it's the therapist's job to go and catch themselves up. It is so important to make sure that you have that good fit with your therapist. And that can be really hard. You want to make sure that you feel safe with this person, but also that they have the expertise to work with your presenting issue. So a lot of therapists are trained in, the garden variety, depression, anxiety, etc. But if you have more specific issues that you are wanting to focus on, you want to make sure that your therapist is knowledgeable about it. So you want to make sure that you're finding a therapist who really aligns with how you view your issues and the world around you.
I'm Gerardo. I started therapy probably when I was in middle school, but it was very on and off. And I guess what I've struggled with is just, like you guys said, I think finding someone who could resonate with your life path is really what I'm looking for. And I think with my current therapist, you also have to put in the work and be honest. I think that's a key thing too. Like you can't, if you lie to your therapist, they can't help you.
Ooh, that's a good one. And it's actually really common for people to lie to their therapist. Are they really lying to their therapist though, or are they lying to themselves? A lot of times people are struggling with things that they don't even want to admit to themselves. So it's easier just to downplay it in therapy or just be just straight up dishonest about it. But you're not gonna be able to get the full breadth of what your therapist can offer and how they can help you unless you're truly honest with them.
I'm realizing that part of it is putting in the work myself and being able to be honest with my therapist. And at first we weren't really vibing, but we were starting to get each other now.
Ooh, who's it gonna be? I think right now, I think it's Marcus with the red hat. He just said so little, you know? He's just like, I've been in it for 9 months, that's it. You know, everyone else had a little more context, so I don't know. I think it's a little suspicious that he didn't have more to say.
Finding out that he has family that is in the therapy profession, I was like, that's a little convenient.
I came in here and I was like, all right, there's probably two strategies. If I was the mole, I would be either leading the conversation or really quiet. I'd probably do what he's doing if I was the mole.
And we actually have a tie.
Oh boy.
The tie is between Veth and Cirrus.
Oh, that's surprising to me. I feel like they both had a lot to say. It's probably my bias, but like, I really feel like children of therapists should be in therapy. Like,
I started therapy to help me work through some traumatic experiences that I went through in early high school. I believe the type of therapy that my therapist specializes in is called narrative therapy. He has me kind of walk through my experiences that I went through, and then he helps me like shift my perspective on them away from, wow, this was this horrible thing that happened to me, specifically with dealing with things that happened in early high school. And I've been seeing him for 2.5 years, so.
narrative therapy is not one that is super common. I don't know where I stand on that. Either this is definitely his therapist, or also like, this just too esoteric. Narrative therapy is really a beautiful way of working though. It helps people kind of externalize the problem from, this is a personal failing, to weaving it into like the narrative of your life. It's like using storytelling and language to externalize and contextualize distress and experiences.
So since starting therapy, I've learned a bunch of different coping mechanisms. One of the things that brought me into therapy was abusing alcohol, and I'm going through kind of just the very beginning stages of learning different mental disorders like ADHD and starting to work with psychiatrists and everything.
That was really broad. It's just like, substance abuse and mental disorders. I don't know. It could go both ways because one guy's so general and the other guy's so specific. I don't know.
Sorry, buddy.
Good luck.
Sorry, man.
Okay, so they voted out Vith. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Just too general.
I guess we could talk about like reasons that we went into therapy. So around 2016, there was a motorcycle accident that took the life of one of my closest friends from the Marine Corps. Obviously, with the military, that's prolonged use of alcohol, so like that's never an easy thing to deal with. I was like, okay, if I don't get help now, I'm about to self-sabotage and literally, like, we probably wouldn't even be having this conversation.
Yeah, so I went about 2 years ago. I started going. It started off with like I got out of a relationship that was it shouldn't have been really brutal, but it really was brutal on me. And then I realized that all the relationships around me were the same as that, and so they're all hollow. And so I realized I was looking at other people to get value.
As men too, it's kind of taught that we're not supposed to feel,
No.
and then we learn how to suppress our emotions. I always thought I was a people pleaser, but I know I've also hurt people. I have a substance abuse problem, and I like to say hurt people, but healed people heal people.
I do like that. That's true. Yeah, hurt people, and you can only help people as far as you have gone on your own journey of healing. I think that's something that I hold very near and dear to my own healing journey. If I'm going to be a healer for others, I have to constantly engage in my own growth work and my own therapy. So I like that answer.
He sounded so scripted, not saying that what he says wasn't genuine, but it just sounded so rehearsed that I was like, okay, that might be something.
Marcus, where are you? You haven't shared anything. You're just talking trash about everyone else.
No, I definitely agree with you, you know, especially like in the Black culture, you know, it's a stigma for us to just even talk about like our emotions. Like we mask a lot of our emotions in humor because that's just how like we talk about stuff. But
Absolutely.
you know, especially myself being military, it's like I got like 3 whammies against me. It's like military, Black, man, yeah, we need to talk about the stuff.
Oh, 100%. I love that this military Black man is talking about mental health and talking about his experiences in therapy. I really hope he's not the mole because that would be sad. I really hope that he is able to shed light on this and to normalize this. You know, there are different cultures that very much stigmatize any sort of mental health treatment. And you know, people develop a great sense of humor, dark humor as a way to cope, but that kind of bypasses the healing that's really necessary that you can access in therapy.
For sure.
He seemed too animated. Like maybe he was trying to convince me that he's not the mole.
Damn, guys, you did me dirty. That's okay. It's okay. All love. All love.
Ooh, okay. That guy's limited. Like, he was very general and scripted, but I did like what he said about hurt people, and heal people. But, you know, maybe that is kind of cliche. I guess I can see that.
If you think the mole is still in the box and you'd like to continue the game, raise your hand.
Statistic. Right.
Yeah.
Going back to the aspect of being a people pleaser, like at a certain point, I kind of lost what my identity was.
Bro.
And so I was just like, I would kind of blend into whatever anybody needed at that point in
You don't
time.
even see that.
Okay, there you are, Marcus. I love that you're sharing a little bit more. And I mean, I'm starting to think you're a little more legit because the way you're acting in this video is exactly aligned with how you're talking about your problems. Like, he just kind of blended in, didn't say too much. That was suspicious to me, but okay, fine. If that's your issue, then yeah, it tracks.
Yeah.
It's so hard to
Yeah, and so I just wasn't processing that I wasn't looking after myself at all or what I wanted. Like I thought, oh, you know, got to get married, have kids.
I feel you 100% on that. I'm in my 30s, haven't held a relationship down for X amount of time. It's like, and my parents never pressured me to get married or have children. I always put the pressure on myself. Never. So like even just trying to deal with that when therapy is like something to talk about right now.
Oh gosh, yeah, let's unpack that a little bit. There are these benchmarks and milestones in life that people feel like they need to meet at certain points or ages of their life. There's this escalator of life, and sometimes we can get so lost in just checking off these boxes that we're not even present to what's happening around us. I think it's a common thing where people like are so like focused on like productivity and success, and then they check the boxes and then they're like, wait a minute, I don't even like where I am. I'm not even happy. I just did what people told me to do, with the things that I thought I should be doing. And then there's this like big deconstructing, you know, reckoning at that point of like, how do I separate success from happiness? And how do I actually find out who I am, the things that I actually want in order to be able to pursue happiness? And like the idea of marriage being a big checkbox, and that is so real, like especially for women. I have a lot of female clients who are very much concerned about biological clock and things are ticking, and to the point where when they are dating, it's this desperation, urgency that is pretty unattractive. And I think if we can alleviate some of that pressure and not really have the expectations of like only dating for long-term commitment when we go into this, like dating NATO, you know, not attached to outcomes, if we're able to hold that perspective, then it opens up your world to so many more different types of connections.
The biggest thing for me lately is figuring out how to put my own needs first so hard. So
It's exhausting.
They become a pillar of your life, and then that pillar gets ripped out,
Yeah.
and then you fall, you know?
Right.
I noticed as our therapy session was going along, he kind of pulled back.
Honestly, at that point, I was just grasping for straws. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Dang it. All right, boys.
Sorry,
Adios.
boss man.
Yeah, I don't know. Cameron, he didn't strike me as one way or the other. So I guess, his blending into the background could be a strategy.
If you think the mole is still in the box and you want to continue the game, raise your hand.
Was that a
I
raise?
think we got
I-
it.
I think you got it.
I guess I feel like we got the person out,
Okay.
but like
Yeah. I feel like I trust all of your stories and I relate to all your stories a lot.
Same.
All right, cool.
So we decided we're going to end it.
Yeah, you can call it.
We can end it.
If the lights turn green, that means that you have voted the mole out and you all win. If the lights turn red, that means the mole is still in the box and you lose. 3, 2, 1.
Oh my gosh, it's still in the box? These guys are all so authentic and genuine.
This is why I have trust issues.
This is why I have trust issues too. I don't know if I like this.
I trust too easily.
Sometimes it's good to have trust issues. Go with your gut.
Will the mole reveal themselves in 3, 2, 1?
I know it.
It's the guy with the therapist parents? I feel honestly betrayed as a therapist who is also a parent. Like, why isn't he in therapy? What?
I'm so sorry.
Your poker
I voted
face.
him
So
last.
sorry.
Your poker face is absolutely amazing.
Thank you. So almost everything I said was true. My whole story, everything. My parents are therapists. I have seen a therapist before.
My guess was that like once you said that your parents were therapists, that gave me sort of like a suspicion. I'm like, maybe he just knows certain terminologies because he
It
grew up in a
definitely
household.
helped. It definitely
It had to.
Yeah,
It
and
had to.
I really appreciate all the conversations we had though.
It's lighthearted, it's fun. If we're gonna take anything from this, is that like, you know what? Like men can be vulnerable and can share and like and not at one point in time that I feel judged or chastised for anything that I said.
Why do you think some men are still hesitant to go to therapy?
I'm a huge proponent for therapy for everyone, I think.
Okay, so like, why aren't you in therapy, dude? Like, I feel betrayed. I don't think he should be allowed to be on this show. Like, he clearly has insider information and knowledge that most people wouldn't have. Like, this is not a fair shake. Like, I'm shook.
I think it's really important for a lot of people, and I think it is a really helpful resource, and I think we need to work to destigmatize it.
Wow, okay. This Cirrus guy was definitely contradictory. Everyone should be in therapy. My parents are therapists, but I'm not in therapy. This exceptionalism is really shady, but also really common, where people are like, oh yeah, in theory, this is a great idea, but I'm an exception to the rule. But overall, I really liked that these men were talking about their experiences in therapy. I think it did a lot to normalize, destigmatize, and de-shame that it's okay to have emotions. It's okay to be vulnerable. There's such a culture of toxic masculinity where men are more isolated and lonely than ever. And when men do share their problems with people, it tends to be with their female partners. We very much have this gendered expectation and norm around it. So I love that people are talking about this and these men are able to normalize therapy and, be more vulnerable with themselves and each other. And I really loved kind of the intersectional elements of these people's identities, especially with military, with Black men, with gay men. When people are living under just different intersectional marginalizations, then of course they're gonna have more stress and pressure that would impact their experiences and need and deserve some support around that. That's not to say that like cishet white men can't also benefit from therapy, because they absolutely can. There's so much pressure on men to be independent and stoic and just, manly, that like, it's really doing everyone a disservice. Patriarchy really hurts everyone, including men. Thanks again for watching. I'm Dr. Han Ren. For more videos like this from Healthline Mental Health, click the like and subscribe button. See you next time.